Hello guys, some of you have been wondering how I paint my stylized 2D cartoon lips. Well, today I will be explaining just that. I'll be showing you guys the steps on how I paint my lips. Before we get into the video, I would like you to subscribe to my channel, click the bell and give a like. So let's get started. So let's pick out a pencil. I usually like going for the coarse pencil, because it gives me this paper-like feel. So first off, we're gonna start with a sketch here. So we'll just be drawing out the shape of the mouth. I won't be going fully in details because we all know how the mouth is shaped and we all know how we can draw that shape. I actually think there are some anatomy guides for drawing lips, for drawing mouth, but I will be skipping that part for this video. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my my raw intellect and be drawing the big shapes for the lips. Then I'll be doing some cleanup. So I'm still on the sketch phase and I'm actually flipping my canvas using the liquify tool to fix where I think should be fixed. So I just like using my liquify tool and flipping the canvas. So now I'll just be okay, let's size this up a bit. Okay, let's keep it that way. Yeah, this is looking good. Yeah, so now we'll just be cleaning up the sketch, making up something like making a good line out of it. So yeah, I'll be adding some lines over there and just more like crossing your eyes and just more like dotting your eyes and crossing your T's. Yeah. So what I'm doing right now is, we all know the shape of the lips, so I'm actually just like going over the sketch and amending some parts. Yeah, just like fixing things up. Then once we're done with fixing things up, we move ahead to the color section. So now we're actually getting good results, and I'm just gonna go ahead and add those little veins under your lips. Yeah, I do see some artists, they actually illustrate that using dark shades, and yeah, that's a good way to do it. So you just be adding those, should I call it, little depressions under your below your lower lip. Yeah, so that's what we are actually adding right now. I'm going to create a new layer and clip, and I'm going to pick a kind of larger pencil, like let's say the pen fade. Yeah, now I'm gonna change my line art from dark to a darkish brown. So I'm just gonna just go over that. Now you see it's kind of brown now, because I usually like making my line art brown in color. So I'll create a new layer for the base color and then take it below the line art, and now select a brownish, yeah, kind of brown color. So now we have picked our colors. Let's go ahead and apply for the, let's apply the base color. and the brush I'm using the pen pen. Now I'm gonna adjust it with the tone curve. Yeah, I usually use tone curve to like control my saturation and desaturation of my colors. So I'm gonna make that brown a little bit bright. Yeah, I don't want it to be too dark. Yeah, so yeah, I like this result. So I think I'm gonna leave it that way. Yeah, that is okay. So now we have added the base color. What we are gonna do now is to add a dark brown for the upper lip. Yes, adding a dark brown for the upper lip because it's actually gonna be darker in color. And this is you, of course, you can see this is actually very very brown. But don't worry about that. With our filters and effects, we are gonna correct that color later. But finally, just apply the colors. So now we are done adding this color. So let's add some filters now. I'm going to use the hue, saturation and lightness, and I will reduce the saturation and kind of increase the lightness, making it to be a kind of a lighter version of the brown we used earlier. So now we are done with the upper lip. Let's go ahead for the lower lips now. And for the lower lips, we will be using a lighter version of the brown we use for the base color and kind of tweak it a little bit to be kind of pink. So this is how it's going to be. Yeah, don't forget we are still going to adjust these colors later as we proceed. So now we'll just go ahead and apply the same filter we used for the upper lip. Still hue, saturation and lightness. It's actually essential for changing colors, and I usually use color to add some kind of blue tint to the brownish pink. So now it is kind of this blue tint feel. Yeah, so with this it actually makes it more presentable and interesting. So now I'm gonna add all of my layers into a single folder. So I'm gonna just go ahead and add the folder and add all of the layers into the folder, so I can add dark shades, and the dark shade will actually be effective on all other layers. So I'll just change the blending of the dark shade to hard light because I use hard light for adding dark shades. So for the colors now, I actually like using kind of dark purple for my hard light layer, that is my dark shade layer. So I'm just testing out my color. Yes, and I will actually be changing, like changing it so it will vary. Like now it's kind of pink, so I don't actually want the pink to show too much, so I'm going to make it more grayish till you get your desired result. Yeah, this actually feels so dark, so I'm just gonna go ahead and undo all of those, and I will tweak them a little bit again. Yes, this I think, yes, this is perfect. Yeah, it's dark and it's not too dark. It's not too dark. Yeah, at the same time, you can still see the brown reflecting under the highlight layer. So I'm just gonna stick with this and add apply the dark shades to, because according to this painting now, the light source is kind of coming from the left side of the painting, so parts of the right side and will all be affected by the dark shade. So I'll just go ahead and add all of those respectively. So now I'm just gonna add those shades in between the upper and the lower lips, because to give it a sense of feel that it's actually not a flat object. So I'll add those dark shade there. Yes, this is actually looking fine. So now I'm gonna use my airbrush to kind of brush in some dark shades at the base of the lower lip, to also indicate that the lower lip is actually kind of curved. It's not a flat object, so below will be kind of dark. Now we could see this is actually looking pleasing. It's looking fine. Yeah, I'm happy with this result. So now I'll just go ahead and add some little gradient of the lower lip color on the upper lip color. So we're going to create a new layer and clip to the upper lip and color pick the lower lip color, and using a soft airbrush you just brush the um the lower lip color very little on the upper lip to give you that feel that it's actually kind of reflective, because the lips won't be that, just to add a little sauce to it, like make it more visually appealing. So I was actually able to shade this painting accurately because of the clipping effect I used. I'm sure you all know of how to clip. If you haven't known how to clip yet, I think I did a tutorial on that, so I'll drop the link in the description below and you can go ahead and check how to clip. So as you can see, I reduced the opacity of the layer to 77%, so I think that's just fine. So now we will proceed now. Now next we'll be adding the highlights, because after you're done with the dark shade, next is the highlight. Highlight is what brings that glossy feel to your artwork. And I like using an overlay blend mode for my highlight layer. And when I pick the blend mode, I use a very saturated yellow orange color, and I go ahead and give some subtle brush strokes to the area light is more concentrated on. So as you can see, I'm just applying some brush strokes to the part that will actually be affected mostly by the light, most like the close to the lower lips and even the lining of the upper lip. Yeah, those layers, those areas will be kind of affected by the light, so it will kind of be more concentrated in those areas. So that's why I'm just trying to illustrate them. Now I'll just go ahead and add little highlights on the main lips itself, no longer the surrounding skin. Now I'm gonna add some small how do I even call it, like these small patches of light on the lips. So that's just, yeah, let's increase the size a bit. Okay, and I think this is okay. So once we have gotten this shape, it can be a very irregular shape, so it can be tricky at times. But this is a very good result. So now I'm gonna use the airbrush to make it kind of like glow, make it shine a little bit since it's a stylized kind of. Now all we'll be doing now is adding some cleanup and extra brush strokes to make it more catchy, to make it more interesting. Yes, so I'll just go ahead and add those very little that at times it looks somehow invisible. At times it doesn't even look visible, but those effects are still there. So you just be adding little ones of them, little brush strokes. And I think overall we are done with this piece. Yes, this is indeed nice. So now we are done. Let's just go ahead and merge all of the layers. First off, we're going to merge our folder. Let's merge that and then merge all of the layers to one single layer. And once we are done with that, we can now go and make some adjustment using tone curve. So with tone curve, you can actually increase and decrease the saturation or desaturation, and you can actually change your color. So you tweak it to how you seem to like it. But yes, I think I like it this way. This is actually looking good. So you just set it as you wish. So I think I like it this way, and I'm going to leave it at this. So we have finally come to the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe and see you later in the next video. Peace.